Bugisu Cooperative Union involves the farmers in the whole of all the Bamasaba and many others. They are involved in the production of coffee, which they sell to the union. So when the government comes in to add on the value of the coffee, that is the best intervention by government. Because when you add on value, Bugisu will be able to export coffee. And when they export coffee, the coffee will compete with other similar products of coffee from other countries. So what do we mean? When they export in big volumes, we also get good big returns. And remember, we also tax this coffee. And it is good when you export, you bring in forex, and the foreign exchange is good for the development of the country. But it also flows back to the region. This is what it is. We don't want Bugisu Cooperative Union to export green coffee. No, they should add value and be able to compete with the products like Nescafe. That is it, and that's what I did. Then too, I told them about them admitting the Paris Development Model Circles into their union. This is the trick to increase their production, because there are people who chose coffee as their major item under PDA. So when you bring them in, they'll have ready market. They'll also benefit from the economy of scale. They'll also benefit from what BCU offers, and the circles will also become bigger and bigger. This is it. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want everybody to get involved in this production, and the coffee now is taken as gold. Uganda's export #1 that brings in huge foreign exchange. So that's why we are not taking it for granted. We're also adding value. It's not only here. We're doing it in. We shall not only do it here. We have done it in Uganda. We have done it in other areas. They should be able. I'm informed the stores are full. So when these stores come full, we add value, process coffee, and Arabic coffee will sell all over the whole world. But above all, also, they should be able to consume. We should also act as our own market. The 45 million population should consume this coffee. That is the first market before you look outside. We should be sources of market as we should learn to consume our coffee in order to act as a market place for this coffee before they take it outside the country.
For coffee as a coffee stimulus fund. Sente zino zibayambe kuwange mwanyi kati eringa gold. Kati naffe tufuna forex. Nsaba government, I'm going to propose, and we are proposing, I'm waiting to register for that input. I want to present a paper. I want to alimime mwanyi like other producers. Babayambe bongera okulima mwanyi, bongera okufuna output to exporting. We continue exporting. Now,
then you're not a member. That means those people who have been isolated for not patronizing union, it means they are selling their coffee to the other middlemen, and hence they are denying the union an opportunity to increase on their volume. So they shouldn't benefit from the sweat of others. When we isolate them, it means, but the good thing with the Mbale here, the union has allowed them to come and witness the meetings and also see what is going on. They should be able to be part of what is happening. And if you don't patronize, it means you are not a member. And when you are not a member, you are able to sell your coffee to anybody, middlemen, and hence you deny this cooperative union an opportunity to utilize what you have got. I have mentioned about investors who come here. They get huge amounts of money, which with low interest rates, they come and out compete with union. So we want everybody to patronize, be able to bring what they produce to the union, and the union should be able to pay back. Because when the union sells the coffee and plows back in the form of scholarships, for example. They have mentioned people go to school, but when you sell to a businessman, they disappear with all the profits. That's why in the cooperatives, we don't eye the aspect of profits so much, but we majorly eye surpluses. These surpluses are plowed back. You have seen titles for land, and they are also assisting in the renovation of infrastructures and all the others. So that is very good. a petitioner should be a member of the union. If you are not a member of Bugisu Cooperative Union, you have no business. They are there, they are the owner. Now if you are not an owner, you're not part of the ownership of the union. What are you complaining about? The other time I came here, you were here, I brought the petitioners to the meeting. They sat in the meeting, I convinced the union members that please allow these petitioners to raise their hand. The union members walked out on me and left me with the petitioners. I asked them why. They said those are non-members, you cannot listen to them because they have no business in this union. So anybody who has no business in this union should be quiet about it. Business is for members, but members to the members, period. For example, when we put a coffee fund to assist the coffee farmers, they will be able to buy fertilizer. If it's organic, they will be able to expand their plantations. They will be able to increase the management of their coffee. They should also be able to compete with those businessmen who buy and intervene with their monopoly of the members. So that's what we need to do. We need them to be economically strong, be able to economically compete with the circumstances that are available currently. That is it.
Mugende muliye. Naye yagala ekibala kimu. Ekibala ekyo bakiyita corruption. Era wano mu bigambo bye ngenda okwogera wabaliwo wano forensic okubuuliriza. Kankyogerere ddala wano commission. Mu kubuuliriza omwo mwalimu abantu chairperson and members of the board bebasalawo tibatwalibwe mu court. Please go ahead. Commissioner, follow that seriously. I am mindful of the past, but I'm also mindful of the present, and I'm also very careful of the future. Abazeyi babadde wano boogedde ne batubulira ebyaliwo, naye kati fe abali wano tumanye ebiriwo. Ekikulu mu biri wano ye survival ya union, naye union eno survivinze because there is a government in place. It created peace, security for our lives, to enable abantu okugenda okulima emmwanyi ne bazireta wano ne bazitunda. The government NRM ate ennungi nnyo. Whenever I meet Nandala, I put on a yellow tie to tell him that if it wasn't this, it would be very difficult for you to govern the people. The government is very all inclusive. I know cooperatives are political, but it is all inclusive, very tolerant, and that's why I always call Nandala whenever I come here. Nandala is a necessary evil politically. I wish him well. Competing wano because of a policy to competing n'abantu abava ebweru ne bafuna sente nyingi ku zero interest rates, ne bajja wano ne batandika okompitinga n'abantu baffe naddala unions mu kugula emmwanyi. Mbasaba all the farmers, patronize, mwagale ekibiina kyammwe, emmwanyi temuzitunda ludda. If you don't sell this coffee anywhere else, those people will not get the coffee. Because emmwanyi zino ze muguza union, esente eziva mu union. I had RDC, my OG, saying esomera ku sente za union, scholarships zigabibwa. Naye I have not had anybody suliddeko omuntu yenna ayogedde nti ze sente zansomesa zaava mu kampani eno. So this is your union, and the cooperative is for members, by members, to the members. seasonism. I am informed, and I've also verified with my register, Timwakoze pre-annual general meetings, Zono. N'abantu abata-subscribing, all those who don't patronize to the union are seated there. This is inclusiveness. Bajja bawulire ebigenda mu maaso bateekeyo amaanyi okupatronizinga ku union tutambule bulungi. Olunaku olwaleero is not so much for business, for Bugisu Cooperative Union business. It is talking about what you have seen, because you have discussed the balance sheet, you have discussed the progress and everything. So today is a day to unite with people. And I've also called relief. I now know why Nandala usually wins election. He calls all religious leaders. But above all, even the RDCs and the security officers are part of this union. So it is for him not to be moved and not to go wrong. Religious leaders, I want to thank you so much for giving support to Bamasaba, especially on coffee. And the security people, this is it. This is the way to go. It is time for we're in an election year. Even me, never said you know chairperson of the board and members to have put me on the agenda, but allowed me to say something before I go. Now bandi bubi. So it is good for continuity. Bamasaba. Nandala may not be very happy with this particular. Heavily, with so many papers and documents. If I hear you, minister, if I'm the elders, elders forum, elders council, I have asked the commissioner here. For me, when I see a petition, and I've told this to everybody, about a cooperative, I usually ask the commission, petitioning, is he a member of the union? Does he patronize to the union? Has he paid membership? If he hasn't, I usually advise him put that petition in the basket. Because in Magambi, a cooperative society is for only members. Non-members have no business. The moment I have a local cooperative society where he has no business, there are procedures. Come and ask in an annual meeting to be admitted to the union as a member. And then you start kuriko emikolo ejikuyingiza mu union wa cooperative society. There are two incidents. Numu, commissioner, you recall, I came here, I didn't tell Nandala. So I drove, then I think it's Nandala who called, Neteka number busy. To tell him what I was going to do. So when I reached, there's a person in the valley, the other school is up. Then I saw Nagawa. I asked, where are the offices or the location of Nagawa? Wow. So I parked. I said, but there is no signpost to say this is Nagawa. Where are the stores, where are the offices of Nagawa? I want to see the membership. Yavayo mwana nechipande from the house Nagaoya. Asked the register, this is the way cooperative operates. Then I went beyond that. I came to the union meeting here. But you know, it's also tricky. Because I said, petition, but When they came, Nandala just told me, you finish your business, then we shall give you time to talk to this man. They addressed the members. Mumanye chaliwo, this union. Mumanye chaliwo, Bishop. They moved around and left me as the minister with the petition. You people, what is it? What is it? He said, those are not members. They are addressing us as who? That's when I discovered that non-members shouldn't destabilize your union. The problem, not everybody perceives that communication of those petitions, the way you perceive them. And you have resolved here. Religious leaders and the bishops talking about it. It took other offices. But I'm employing the restaurant. Tell the other officers that non-members have nothing to do with the running of the union. But they take interest. Yeah, we have a petition from this union and we want it to ban. You're investigating based on who? So that is what you have to resolve. The other thing, while I accept that there is one lady Kubodi, I also am also, you admit those parishes that have taken up coffee growing as their item. Kati RDCs, please help us. Ladies PDM, people who have specialized in coffee growing, apply to join the union. Because when they join the union, we will now be able to govern them under the cooperative law. Then secondly, we will also be able to increase the inflow of coffee to the union. And as a government, we are in the advanced stages of giving you value addition machines, such that you can be able to compete internationally. You compete internationally, but while you are exporting coffee, which I welcome so much, I have more often than told you people. How consumers, let us consume this coffee. We should be the first people to be marketed to before we look at outside. Coffee is also good for us. Encourage domestic consumption of coffee. Value the Bamasaba. The Bamasaba, you support us so much. I want to thank you for supporting these two people with your chair. But I want to thank you so much for supporting NRM under Museveni. You are very clever people. You first vote Museveni, then you consider Nandala down here. For us, we are ready to work with him. Nandala has been forceful on issues of the union. One time we were amending the Cooperative Act. Then Nandala said, I was proposing 2 years. A 2-year term of office. And I stood on the other side like always and said, I want 4 years. I said, what are you going to 7 to get extension now? So we gave you 4 years. It is normal. There is no harm for you after 4 years. Actually, in the future, we are going to remove the term limits. I hope Nandala will support me. Because if you can stand before people, and you perform very well, never wonder, why would you block him? So for you, you assist me in this amendment again, you continue performing well, they vote you, while we also do it like we did at President. That is all. So, thank you very much. Honorable Nandala has written that your property, some of your properties were lost during the war. Now, if you lost properties and you have been verified with the government chief value and everybody, the interministerial committee, my regions I will talk about, what cause do we have as government not to compensate? You should be compensated for what we lost. This is the NRM government. That's what it does. Now, if we compensate you, you sit in an annual general meeting and plan for this money. There's one thing I can't do. If you plan for this money that we're going to put a radio station or we're going to fly to London, I will advise against it, but if you insist, you will fly. Because I have no say in your business. From the fact that the annual general meeting that will follow next will come after elections. But I want all of us to come. I want to see the status quo. Museveni president, Gume Minister, Nandala Cheyani. And everybody, this is it. I'm taking note of that. I'm looking forward to seeing you here once again. And lastly, while you want a problem in Kulonda, Register, you'll talk about it, Bubulo. And what? Susu. And Bubulo. We failed to conduct elections because I was seeing it was becoming tough. We now, consequently, I requested the registrar here to write to the Attorney General for interpretation. The Attorney General has not responded to us, but I will remind him. Because if he doesn't guide us, the Attorney General, so when he brings his response, we will come again, either in a special general meeting, we'll call a special general meeting to accomplish that mission.
Commissioner kana kukulomera ati baloyeso kwandikira kwandindire office yo ekwiye manga kukulanga special general meeting kuna kana office yo commissioner ukugana barasolere bagana kwingira ku society balikulira bataroba azeye bara basolera bina bisobugu kale kwa bagolire kuna nike wiki eza ukugana kugenda na commissioner solving ekizibuki muchifanya kugala was stores the site because functioning which one could delegate commissioner akora ati stores the site zikakora milimu akana kuzi tusakuregister azigalo nekuma yako store ate zizimbi ebuku limoni olemeza na the store ne ba youth kale commissioner omwene kwani ndero na corona kwa unanike uli mo nefu the wiki kubimana ni season ekiku kunanika na zimwanyi de yanze yonge kubaenda hii era nakuba kakasa fenga de banako na mapesa kwa kulinizi mwanyi katale bureba kupega mwange kwachi akakufugisa ero maseti kunafuna mapesa maaka kuna mada bureba kupega mwananga kamwananga bweni kukuba ukuga na kubusa ba youth ni noyos Bishop ni team yo ukuye gani kako mo mamusira barobera bingira mu site zawe banakurwa nsabuwavu government run sabuwavu government government ineza yabaina PDM basinga baraka banyomenda kandi bafuna mu bakasi kandi bagura mu batinano kumufe Engizi mwaki na kwa rombele gene ba campus loita religious faith ya Bugisu akulire yakoza kutawa buchiko bushaka yogana commissioner wefe abeo akwiye ala kurukusovera kutika sakuna neka ne Sunday yeza kuna bakwazi wangu wazi adera nyawe neo yakurukuro manaki muzizone ze batu baba kulebeze baba manya bikukora milimo zikora byamagana nibehuri kwakale kuza kumona site zibiri inafune kale complaint ero mete site zibiri bwa tobola bato kaira kale ndikulomba ngakama ni rukiko runo zi complaint zino John Musa anyoza kuzikulira Nenga na kubuli abamemba boss set power store bana nyawa kumona ina mayo director na kuna nyawa ni store zinda yo director ni ka college ikasembe Central Purpose zosu kurukumona yakwana nikile nayo uza kutende chuma tega mezi ebu Mr. Minister bali mbabu tisa watukole chuma tega mezi sisi namada se musoro ko bali kuchiku manyama yoso mutandika historia yefe bagiranga batandika GCS ranga muganyika kutandika na semu nanga baba mugeno mukuru wabone rufu yefe keli na yekugana ku rufinga komenta sako kugana kuganika nabo kugana kota mama pesa mara usako omukina kwa boss bafugise bati sako ebisi bonekenda yi kurukuru ombachama ngwe sako ni management yo ulose ko babetu batu bala yemu bukole betu mugwanga mukoza kongera amapesa musako bali natike munazi yaga muzibanka zikuruzi munazi yaga musako kwiona amapesa eka saba banga mugagobos yes mufugisa ne structure ebisi yo zibaroje bananga kati Bugisu Elders Council Caucus kero construct ebisi yo ngeli mu government yena leo ikole byena leo nefe mu BCU kuni site aba ni zone aba ni BCU board yo byongane byotekesa awali kuba baba kinkenga na kulo baba Bishop Obraka abamo Mandel abamo obalaye mwese watu mwabangana watu se report ilo BCU ili kwinisonga yose kukileta munanu mukitonga era manyeka je petition ziliko zeza na winjire zirimo zimwanyi zirimo kwa mao wakemwale katana bagana baone nanda alabati iyo beza baile zina de mwanyi epa kuna kukiralo kwa nozo dume haze yanyo male wo bakire manenyo male wenye mugana baile zimwanyi zenye ese muri mukoza nyo imile ku gate nali ndete bakeba zina katana ngabasho gate man ozi mwanyi lako zike barenga na mkonde ne batu mati lero munya mumale wetu nyo mwile gate man ngasale musango obo mwene muleta mutaso kokubezina ateti kujakade mwanyi ndwe olalo matirage zimwanyi asa kuruka kujake mwanyi akabe iyo kande ziliwo bayakena robetu mpenza jeli kana robetu kale ko minister ba RDCs President Council something yani kila president mumubuli namatire kumwandikira semwene na correct inaandika nabe ndikuru menye mukore mutye mwandi mawulire badamu wema na faka wose nende kana RDC osandi mwesoro kyokana kwa naga nikebiga
wano mbaddewo emirundi mingi kubanga wano waliwo abantu babiri no Rastaman nandala honorable Bangi. I am still failing, but I now succeed to convince Nandala that all the members who patronize to this union are NRA. Therefore, what are you doing behind it? Including the vice.